Never reveal these things about yourself. Picture this for a moment. Someone smiles at you every day, asks about your plans, your dreams, your struggles, your next move, and you think they care. But slowly, quietly, they begin using every detail against you. Your weaknesses become gossip. Your goals become targets. Your kindness becomes manipulation. Your pain becomes entertainment. Most people don't lose in life because they are untalented. They lose because they reveal too much to the wrong people. In a world where everyone talks, silence has become a forgotten superpower. The most dangerous people are rarely the loudest. The wisest minds move quietly, and the strongest individuals understand one terrifying truth. Not everyone clapping for you wants you to win. Tonight, you're going to discover the things you should never reveal about yourself. Not your biggest dream, not your deepest fear, not your next move, not even your loneliness. Because some information doesn't create connection, it creates vulnerability. And by the end of this video, you may never look at conversations, friendships, social media, or even trust the same way again. So dim the lights, remove distractions, and listen carefully. Because one lesson in this video could save you years of pain. Never reveal these things about yourself. There are people smiling at you right now, secretly collecting information about you. Not because they care, because information is leverage. Some people don't ask questions to understand you. They ask questions to measure your weaknesses, your fears, your loneliness, your insecurities. And the terrifying part, most people hand over these details freely, in conversations, on social media, at family gatherings, at work, in friendships, sometimes even to strangers. And later, they wonder why people disrespect them, why people manipulate them, why opportunities disappear, why their peace slowly evaporates like smoke in the wind. Because in this world, silence is often protection. The less people know about certain parts of your life, the harder it becomes for them to control the direction of your emotions. Today, we are diving deep into the dangerous things you should never reveal about yourself. Not because you should become cold, not because you should fear everyone, but because wisdom knows not every thought deserves an audience. Not every dream deserves exposure. And not every person deserves access to your inner world. Stay till the end, because the final point is the one most people ignore. And it silently destroys more lives than betrayal itself. And if at any point during this video you recognize yourself in these habits, don't feel ashamed. Awareness is the beginning of power. Let's begin. Never reveal your biggest dream too early. A tiny seed underground grows in silence. It doesn't announce itself to the world. It doesn't scream, "Look at me. One day I'll become a massive tree." No, it grows quietly, protected, hidden. And that's exactly how powerful dreams should begin. One of the biggest mistakes people make is revealing their ambitions too early. The moment they get excited, they start broadcasting. "I'm starting a business. I'm building a YouTube channel. I'm writing a book. I'm going to become successful." And suddenly, the dream becomes public property. Now everyone has an opinion. Some people will laugh. Some will doubt you. Some will pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. And some will drain your motivation without you even realizing it. Psychologists have studied something fascinating. When you announce your goals publicly, your brain can sometimes feel a false sense of accomplishment. You talked about the dream so much. Your mind starts behaving as if progress already happened. And slowly, action decreases. That's why many people talk endlessly, but build nothing. Words became their substitute for discipline. Real builders move differently.
quietly, strategically, patiently. They disappear for months. Then one day the results appear like thunder. People say, "Wow, when did this happen?" But the truth? It happened in silence. Silence protected the process. Think about this carefully. When a movie is being created, the audience doesn't see every unfinished scene. When a skyscraper is being built, the world doesn't obsess over every brick. Great things require protected development. And sometimes, your dream dies not because it was impossible, but because you exposed it to too many negative minds before it was strong enough to survive criticism. There are people who carry storms inside them, and if you reveal your fragile beginning too early, they will rain all over it. Not always intentionally. Sometimes their fear
becomes your limitation. Sometimes their small thinking infects your confidence, and suddenly the thing that once excited you starts feeling unrealistic. Guard your vision, especially in the beginning. Not everyone deserves front row access to your unfinished future. And if this message already resonates with you, take a second to subscribe, because the next lessons only get deeper, and some of them might completely change how you move through life. Never reveal your next move to everyone. There's a reason chess masters don't announce their strategy before making the move, because once people know your direction, they can interfere. Human beings are unpredictable. Some support you, some compete with you, some copy you, some sabotage quietly, and some smile while calculating how your success affects them. This is why wise people move carefully, not fearfully, carefully. You don't need to post every opportunity. You don't need to announce every meeting. You don't need to reveal every plan. Sometimes privacy is not secrecy, it's protection. Think about how many times people ruined things by speaking too early. Relationships, business deals, career opportunities, creative ideas. One conversation reached the wrong ears. One jealous person spread negativity. One manipulative individual inserted themselves into the situation. And suddenly, the energy shifted. The ancient warriors understood something modern society forgot. Surprise carries power. Move in silence. Let results make the noise. Because the louder people talk, the easier they become to predict. And predictable people are easier to control. There's another hidden danger too. The more people know your plans, the more pressure you create for yourself. Now your dream becomes a performance. Now you're worried about what others think. Now failure feels embarrassing. Now anxiety enters the process. And sometimes that pressure alone destroys momentum. Quiet progress is peaceful progress. You don't owe the world constant updates. A caterpillar doesn't invite an audience into the cocoon. Transformation happens privately. Then the butterfly appears. Imagine if every seed constantly dug itself out of the soil just to prove growth was happening. It would die. That's what many people do with their plans. They expose them too early, too often, to too many people, and eventually, growth weakens. Protect your next move, not because you're hiding, because you're building. Comment below with one word: silence. Because sometimes silence is not emptiness, it's preparation. Never reveal your biggest weakness to the wrong people. This world contains two kinds of listeners: people who hear your pain and protect it, and people who hear your pain and store it like ammunition. Be careful who you emotionally undress in front of. Not everyone deserves access to your wounds. One of the saddest realities of adulthood is discovering that some people study your vulnerability, not to help you, to use you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day during conflict, during jealousy, during competition, they suddenly weaponize everything you once trusted them with. That insecurity you confessed, that fear you admitted, that traumatic experience, that secret pain, suddenly it becomes a blade, and the betrayal cuts deeper because you handed them the knife yourself. This doesn't mean you should suppress emotions forever. Human beings need connection. We need trusted people. We need support. But wisdom asks an important question: has this person earned access to my deeper truth? Trust should be built slowly, not handed out like candy. Watch how people treat others. If someone constantly gossips about everybody else, one day they will gossip about you. If someone mocks other people's weaknesses, they will eventually mock yours too. Patterns reveal character, and character matters more than charming words. Many people confuse attention with trustworthiness. Just because someone listens doesn't mean they care. Some people are simply collecting information. Emotionally intelligent people observe first. They test loyalty over time. They notice consistency.
They notice discretion, they notice maturity, and only then do they open deeper doors. Your vulnerability is sacred. Treat it carefully, because once certain words leave your mouth, you can never fully pull them back. A wise person knows not every listener deserves the full story. If you're still watching, you're already different from most people. Most people consume noise, but you're learning awareness. Subscribe and stay with me, because the next section explains why revealing your happiness too openly can sometimes attract hidden negativity. Never reveal your deepest fear. Social media created a strange world, a world where people feel pressured to display every happy moment, every vacation, every purchase, every relationship, every achievement, every luxury experience.
And while sharing joy is natural, excessive exposure comes with invisible consequences. Not everyone looking at your life is celebrating you. Some people compare, some envy, some silently resent, some begin competing with you mentally, and some feel inspired to attack what they cannot create themselves. Energy shifts when too many eyes enter your private happiness. Have you noticed how certain things feel more peaceful when kept personal? A quiet relationship, a private goal, a hidden blessing. Sometimes the less the world knows, the calmer your soul becomes, because external attention changes internal energy. The ancient idea of the evil eye exists in many cultures for a reason. Whether someone believes spiritually or psychologically, envy is real, and envy carries emotional weight. Some people smile at your success while internally wishing for your downfall. That negative energy affects relationships, confidence, mental peace, focus. This is why deeply wise people learn balance. They enjoy life, but they don't turn every beautiful moment into public entertainment. Privacy creates peace. Silence protects joy. You don't need validation from strangers to prove your happiness exists. A sunset remains beautiful even if nobody posts it. Love remains real even if nobody sees it online. Success remains powerful even in silence. In fact, some of the happiest people in the world are quietly living, not performing, not competing, not seeking applause, just living. And perhaps that is true freedom. Now, the next lesson is one many people learn too late, because it involves family, friends, and the painful reality that not everyone close to you wants you to grow. Never reveal how much money you have. Money changes people, not always the person earning it, sometimes the people around them. The moment others know you have money, the atmosphere can shift. Expectations increase, jealousy appears, manipulation quietly enters relationships. Some people suddenly become unusually friendly. Others begin asking for favors. Some feel entitled to your success, and some secretly dislike you simply because your progress reminds them of their own stagnation. This is why wealthy people throughout history often protected financial information, not out of arrogance, out of wisdom. Because once people know your financial position, they start treating you differently. Sometimes better, sometimes worse, but rarely the same. There's another danger too. Public wealth attracts attention, and attention attracts risk. Scammers, manipulators, fake friends, predatory behavior, even family conflict. Suddenly, your life becomes less peaceful. Some people spend beyond their means just to maintain an image. Others reveal every luxury purchase online hoping for admiration. But admiration is unstable. Today people praise you, tomorrow they criticize you. Never build your peace on public approval. Real wealth is quiet. It doesn't scream. It doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't need strangers to clap. A lion doesn't announce itself before entering the jungle. Its presence speaks. Likewise, financially secure people often move with calm energy. No desperate flexing, no endless showing off, no obsession with proving status. Because when confidence is real, performance becomes unnecessary. Protect your financial details. Not everybody needs access to that information. Some questions deserve polite boundaries, and boundaries are not rude. They are emotional security systems. Never reveal your family problems to everyone. Every family has storms. Every house carries invisible battles. Every bloodline contains pain nobody talks about at dinner tables. But one of the biggest mistakes people make is exposing intimate family problems to the wrong audience. Because once private chaos becomes public entertainment, respect begins to fade. Some people don't listen to help. They listen for gossip, for drama, for emotional stimulation.
And once your personal struggles enter those circles, your pain starts traveling from mouth to mouth like smoke through open windows. Suddenly, strangers know details they were never supposed to know. People form opinions, judgments appear, whispers begin, and eventually the situation becomes heavier than it originally was. Family problems require wisdom, not public performance. Now, this doesn't mean you should suffer alone. There are moments when guidance is necessary. Therapy, trusted mentors, mature support systems, wise conversations. Those things matter. But broadcasting family pain carelessly often creates more damage than healing. Some people permanently destroy relationships because they involved outsiders who never truly cared. And here's something many people realize too late. Temporary emotions can create permanent consequences. During anger, people overshare. During heartbreak, people expose everything. During frustration, people speak recklessly. But emotions are weather. They change. What you revealed during temporary pain may haunt relationships for years. Protect your family's dignity, even when things
aren't perfect. Because once respect breaks publicly, rebuilding it becomes incredibly difficult. Strong people learn emotional control. They don't turn every private issue into a public announcement. They solve quietly, heal carefully, and preserve peace wherever possible. Not every battle needs spectators. Some wars should remain behind closed doors. If this message hits deeply, pause for a second and like the video. Not for the algorithm, for the reminder that wisdom often begins with restraint. Never reveal your exact strategy. There's a difference between confidence and overexposure. Many people destroy their own advantage because they talk too much. They reveal every tactic, every move, every method, every secret, before results even arrive. And then they wonder why people copy them, compete with them, or block their progress. In nature, predators survive because of patience, not noise. Imagine a hunter announcing every movement inside the forest. Nothing would ever be captured. Likewise, in life, too much transparency weakens strategic power. This applies everywhere: business, career, relationships, creative work, social media, even personal growth. Not everybody deserves access to your blueprint. Because once people understand exactly how you operate, some will attempt to outmaneuver you. Others will imitate your ideas without credit, and some will intentionally create obstacles. The world contains competitive energy whether people admit it or not. That's why disciplined individuals learn selective silence. They reveal enough to connect, but not enough to become vulnerable. There's power in mystery, not fake mystery, not manipulation, simply discipline. A mountain doesn't explain how it became tall, it simply stands there. Likewise, your work should eventually speak louder than your explanations. Many people talk themselves into weakness. They over-explain, overshare, over-defend, over-justify. Meanwhile, truly dangerous people often remain calm, focused, observant, quiet. And that silence creates strength, because silence allows strategy to breathe. Next time you feel the urge to reveal everything, ask yourself, is this helping my future, or am I simply seeking attention in the present? That question alone can protect your progress. Never reveal every good thing you do. One of the purest forms of strength is doing good quietly, helping people without cameras, giving without announcing it, supporting others without needing applause. But modern culture rewards visibility. People record generosity, broadcast kindness, turn compassion into content, and slowly, sincerity begins to disappear. Now, not every public act of kindness is fake. Sometimes sharing positivity inspires others. But wisdom understands balance, because when every good deed becomes performance, the soul quietly changes. You stop helping because it's right, you start helping because it's seen, and attention becomes addictive. Real character appears in private. Who are you when nobody is watching? Who are you when there's no reward, no likes, no praise, no audience? That version of you reveals the truth. There's another reason silent kindness matters. Not everybody needs to know your generosity. Some people exploit kind hearts. The moment they identify your soft spots, they manipulate them. Suddenly your compassion becomes a doorway for emotional exhaustion. This is why emotionally intelligent people help wisely, not recklessly. And they rarely advertise every act. The sun doesn't post announcements every morning saying, "Look how much light I gave today." It simply shines. That quiet consistency is beautiful. Likewise, the strongest people often carry silent goodness, not because they're hiding, because their identity isn't dependent on recognition. Do good, but don't always seek witnesses.
Sometimes the most powerful things in life happen quietly. If you agree that peace is more valuable than attention, comment quiet strength, because the next lesson might be the most emotionally important one yet. Never reveal your deepest fear to those who haven't earned trust. Fear is deeply personal. Sometimes it's hidden beneath confidence, sometimes behind humor, sometimes behind success, and sometimes behind silence. Every human being carries fears. Fear of abandonment, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, fear of losing people, fear of being forgotten. But revealing those fears carelessly can become dangerous, because manipulative people study emotional weaknesses carefully. The moment they discover what scares you most, they gain psychological leverage. Some will threaten abandonment, some will trigger insecurity, some will emotionally control you through your fears, and some will repeatedly reopen wounds just to maintain power. This is why emotional boundaries matter. Not everybody deserves access to your deepest psychological landscape. Think about castles in ancient times. The strongest walls protected the most valuable treasures. Likewise, your inner world deserves protection. Many people reveal too much too quickly because they
Crave connection. But connection without discernment becomes vulnerability without safety. Trust slowly. Observe carefully. Notice how people behave during difficult moments. Anyone can seem supportive during easy seasons. Character reveals itself during tension, during disagreement, during conflict, during pressure. That's when masks begin slipping. And remember this carefully. Strong people are not emotionless. They simply become intentional about where their emotions go. Not every person deserves front row seats to your fears. Some people haven't earned the ticket. Never reveal how lonely you feel to people who only seek advantage. Loneliness is one of the quietest pains in the modern world. You can stand inside crowded rooms and still feel emotionally invisible. You can receive messages all day and still feel disconnected. You can smile publicly while privately carrying emptiness heavy enough to break sleep. And because loneliness hurts, many people become desperate for connection. That desperation becomes dangerous because manipulative individuals can sense emotional hunger, the same way sharks sense blood in water. When someone realizes you're deeply lonely, they may offer temporary comfort while secretly seeking control. Now suddenly you tolerate disrespect because you fear losing connection. You ignore red flags because attention feels better than isolation. You accept emotional crumbs because part of you feels starved. This is why self-worth matters deeply. Loneliness should never force you into unhealthy attachment. A peaceful life alone is infinitely better than constant chaos with toxic people. And here's something powerful. Some of the strongest transformations in human history happened in solitude. Writers, artists, thinkers, leaders, visionaries. Many spend seasons alone, not abandoned, preparing. Loneliness can either destroy you or deepen you. The difference depends on what you do with the silence. Learn to enjoy your own company. Learn to build yourself privately. Learn to become emotionally complete without depending entirely on external validation. Because when your happiness depends completely on others, your peace becomes fragile, and fragile peace breaks easily. If you've ever felt alone while surrounded by people, subscribe. This channel is for people building strength quietly, and the final lesson coming next might completely change how you see silence forever. Silence is a superpower. Silence confuses people, especially in a world addicted to constant noise. Everyone wants to announce, explain, react, defend, prove, display. But silence? Silence carries mystery, control, awareness, peace. The most dangerous storms often arrive quietly. The strongest minds don't constantly seek attention, and the wisest people understand something profound. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not every opinion deserves your energy. Not every argument deserves your voice. Not every person deserves access to your thoughts. Silence protects emotional energy. Silence reveals observation. Silence prevents unnecessary conflict. Silence allows strategy. Silence creates presence. And sometimes, silence exposes people, because when you stop talking, others reveal themselves. You notice manipulation. You notice insecurity. You notice intentions. You notice masks. Silence becomes a mirror. There's a reason calm water reflects clearly. Noise disturbs vision. Likewise, a calm mind sees reality better. This doesn't mean becoming cold or distant. It means becoming intentional. Speak carefully, reveal selectively, trust wisely, move strategically, and protect the sacred parts of your life, because not everything beautiful survives exposure. Some things grow best in quiet places. Your dreams, your healing, your growth, your next level, perhaps even your peace. If this video changed the way you think even slightly, don't let it end here. Carry these lessons into real life. Observe more, speak less, protect your energy, and remember, the
world reveals itself differently to people who know when to remain silent. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe and become part of this growing community. Because here, we don't just chase motivation,